could just do roll call.
Okay.
Rich being Cooley, present.
Danelle Allen, present.
Emily Stacy, present.
John Call, present.
Jennifer Skinner, not present.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, are there any agenda adjustments? Hearing none. I am looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular school committee meeting of September 23rd. Did anybody have any corrections? There was one thing,
Oh, okay.
one word needs to be struck, and it's days after Sebago. In the section, I only have those online.
Oh, yeah.
In the section talking about Sebago's 200th birthday. So, well,
Sounds good.
I'll
Yeah.
let Kathy know.
Yeah, we'll get the secretary to amend that. I'll move to approve those September 23rd minutes as amended by Danelle.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, it passes. And did anybody have any corrections on the minutes of our school committee retreat of September 23rd? I don't think I did, but I just. No.
I'll move to approve those minutes from the school committee retreat of September 23rd.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, it passes. Okay. Consent agenda,
There's nothing on the consent agenda tonight.
alrighty.
Yep.
Public comments.
Hearing none.
Alright, superintendent's report, actually, you were out of the room when we approved the minutes of our regular school
Yep.
committee meeting. One word needs to be struck, and
Oh.
I didn't have a paper copy,
Okay,
but I read them online.
okay.
The word days after the word Sebago in the section talking about the 200th birthday.
Okay.
It's not of Sebago days, it's just of Sebago.
Right.
Okay, so we
You
approve
don't,
that.
you don't want the word days.
Right, so
Yeah.
we approve the minutes with that amendment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I have a few items to report on tonight. First, the operations committee met today, and we had a pretty full agenda. Early this morning, John and Phil Lowe and a couple other gentlemen met with a contractor that we've asked to take a look at the envelope of the building, the siding, and they got together and took a little tour and looked at the siding, I think near the library, right?
They took one right in here between the library and
Yeah.
the music room.
And we're trying to get some information from the contractor in terms of what the cost would be to upgrade our siding. And he looked at about a sixth of the building, I believe, and is gonna come back in, I think, mid-December. Do I have that right, John? To give us a cost out, and then we'll have some information to bring forward to you with regard to the total cost to upgrade this building, which needs upgrading. There's issues with insulation, there's issues with just decay on the outside of the building. So we'll be bringing that forward to you. And I have some things I'm gonna talk about in a little bit about phases of work on this building. Phil provided a solar power update to us that he'll have more information, I think, at the next meeting in terms of cost for that, estimates, and that's something that, with all these things that are going on, you know, we're gonna have to come up with a creative way to try to pay for that, I think. And then we talked about, the building work that needs to be done here, and I had, suggested to the committee that we phase in work, that's needed to be done on this building, particularly, looking at the building envelope, which includes insulation, tieback, and new siding to this building. The older building, not to the modular.
And new windows.
And new windows, correct. And, we talked about that. We also talked about the need for a kitchen addition. And we talked about, stage and storage in the future. A stage for our students to perform on and some storage, off the existing cafeteria area. And modular roof ventilation, which we've been spending a lot of money on that, maintaining an old system. So I had recommended to the committee, and they have agreed to me, and I'm bringing it to you tonight, to phase in this work, and looking at phase one for fiscal year '27, which would be the next fiscal year, looking at upgrading our building envelope. And what I'm going to recommend to you, that be a priority for this coming fiscal year, and that we budget accordingly for that. And I think what we would do is use existing surplus, create a warrant article to free up that surplus money to use to make the needed repairs. I would be working with an attorney on that, and Susan as well, a business administrator, to come up with a warrant article to bring to you and then to the voters. Does that make sense? And then, in the same phase, fiscal year '27, we would be looking at a kitchen addition. And right now, we need to bring somebody in to give us some plans and some thoughts in terms of cost, but I'm trying to get out early to let you know what we're working on. Likewise, I would use an article to use surplus to pay for the addition. And again, it's gonna be dependent upon all these costs, and we don't know that yet. The solar power issue, if you were to bring that forward to the voters, I would make that a regular article to raise and appropriate money and let it stand on its own merits, if you wanted to do that. That would be considered part of phase one, but I would not use surplus money for that. I just don't think we should be doing that. We should be using more of the money for surplus on our building itself. Then phase two for fiscal year '28, we would look at a stage and storage. We'd have to have an article for that. And then a modular roof ventilation as well as an article. Right now, I'm focused on fiscal year '27. I need to create a budget that's gonna be reasonable and also try to use some existing funds that we have to take care of the building envelope and the kitchen addition. I'm gonna stop there in case you have any questions. Does that make sense to you folks? The committee endorsed this, so it was unanimous, so that's where we're at. And then in terms of the budget for this coming fiscal year, I've spoken with John and some others. We really need to upgrade our server and PA system. We're gonna have to try to put that into the budget, and then we're gonna have to work around that to see if there's areas that we can cut, to kind of come in with as much of a level funded budget as we can, if I'm making sense. We know we're gonna have some costs that are gonna increase just due to contractual obligations such as salary and benefits and heat and electricity. But our discretionary funds, we're gonna have to take a look at to make room for server and a PA system. We also talked about exploring the need for either a water softening system or a new well, because we're spending a lot of money on water testing to the tune of about $17,000 a year. So we need to get our heads around that. That's something we talked about as well. John and I will work on that and get back to you on that. In terms of the school bus, we think we can forego buying a new bus this year. However, looking at possibly bringing forth an article to create a reserve fund to replace future buses as we move along and put some money into that. I just threw out a number of $65K. Maybe we can use surplus funds if they're available. If not, I might have to bring that down to establishing the fund for about $30,000. But we need to start thinking in terms of the future, in terms of planning for replacement of big ticket items like the bus. Also, I talked to Morgan today, who's now on the operations committee, because we're talking about the kitchen, about replacing, in the future, kitchen equipment.
Mhm.
She's been around for 7 years, that stuff gets old, we need to start making a plan to replace this equipment as time goes on, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big lift, but if we could do a CIP similar to what the town does,
Yeah.
it would make sense.
Yeah, because you can't do it all in 1 year, and so it's time to, move that forward. Also, the committee talked about, the town fence. We're gonna recommend to the town manager that the fence go to the stones and then take a corner, like an L, to let kids know that's the cutoff. And then in the woods, we're gonna ask that, there be a, snow fence, an orange snow fence into the woods where there's a drop off or like a ravine. Phil Lowe has said he would donate some fencing that he has. And so I'll talk to Michael about that, if he wants to accept that donation, and then I think he would need to pay for the post to put the fence up. So that's the report from, a lot going on with the operations committee. I don't know if you have any questions, or does that make sense to you folks, or? Okay, John, do you have anything you wanna add, or?
Yeah, so a couple things.
Yep.
The heating and cooling units on the modular, and Lou and I talked about, I'm getting an estimate from Nason's about replacing those type units, same size units, but also getting a quote from Dave's World to see what would it cost to put heat pumps in rather than replace it with those units. And I did talk to him today that the only challenge with that, although I still think it will be cheaper, is we wouldn't be able to get any efficiency gain grant funding, because this isn't a permanent building, and that was the issue last time. And that this building would require an additional unit outside the building in order to service this building. So, it'll be good to get a quote from each, so that way we can see what is the best fit for us in the school, so. And then the other thing about the server and PA system, we do have quotes, we have 4 quotes from that already, so that's good.
Thanks, John.
Would you gentlemen be open to additional quotes on the siding? I'm just aware of, a contractor that's here in town that does that.
Yeah, I think the challenge is we've never been able to get a contractor from town that would actually come and give us a quote,
Oh, okay.
so that's.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's actually a gentleman that lives on Convene that's been doing it for probably 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been super hard to
Okay.
get someone to even look at the building.
Alright, yeah, no, I'll see if he's open to that.
Item B, major non-operational budget consideration, I've actually gone over them, with, prioritizing the building envelope and the kitchen addition, and the bus, and potentially solar power. It's gonna be depending upon what you wanna do with the solar power. There's a lot on the agenda here, so those are the operational budget considerations for fiscal year '27. And then in terms of our October 1 count, I'm gonna give you a handout. This handout that I'm giving you, it's a state report, our October 1 count. We have a pre-K through grade 12 total enrollment of 226 as of October 1st. Now, it's probably changed a little bit since then, but it's not too out of whack.
Mhm.
But if you look across the top, it shows where our kids go to high school. We're looking at the counts for high school. You can see by high school where children go. We have, in terms of total high school count of 56, 47 go to Lake Region High School, and then there's a handful that go to other high schools. And then our K-8 count, elementary count includes middle school. We have 40 students that go to Lakes Region Middle School, and then 4 students that go to Gorham Middle School. And then we have 100 kids in grades K through 8 at Sebago, and then you count the 14 preschoolers, that gives us a grand total of 114 here at Sebago Elementary School. In terms of meeting our contract with 61, 83.9% of our students go to MSAD 61 for high school. The contract requires 75% enrollment. And at middle school, we have 90.9% of our students go to middle school there. And so we meet the requirement under the contract for 75% enrollment. So those are the numbers for October 1.
Okay.
And then you asked me to put together some goals, and I'll go over those with you. And I have, looks like a lot, but I believe I can accomplish these goals. So I'm just gonna read so that the public's aware if they're watching. Most of the goals below are tied directly to the school department's strategic plan, 2030. Moreover, the goals are centered on priorities discussed with school personnel, including administrators, the school committee standing operations committee, and professional education associations and the Maine Department of Education. So the first one I tied into your strategic plan, area 1, a health, safe learning and working environment. And my goal is on or before January 15th, a proposal will be made by the superintendent to the school committee on improving the condition of the SES building to be brought to the voters of Sebago. So it's in line with what I talked to you about earlier, and I think it's one of your potential goals as well. And so we'll jive on that. And then under the strategic plan focus areas 2 and 3 of the strategic plan, curriculum assessment and instruction and student achievement, I have by June 30th, 2026, the superintendent will make certain that 3 informational presentations will be made to the school committee on the school, Sebago Elementary School progress related to the areas of curriculum assessment, instruction, and student achievement. I've asked John to invite, for future meetings, some teachers to come in, give you an update on what's happening with curriculum, and also, I think, multi-tier system of support in terms of how we monitor student achievement and supports. So that's my job to make sure that happens, and so that's why I wrote that goal. And then community-involved education, I have as a goal the superintendent will ensure some students of SES will participate, be it chorus, creation of a town history artifacts, or dress and period clothing. They'll participate in the town of Sebago's 200th birthday celebration to be held in February of 2026. Spoken to John about that, we can make that happen. So let's try to tie in community involvement. And then tuition contract, supplemental focus area, by June 30, 2026, the superintendent in concert with the school committee will determine a course of action on how to proceed with a new tuition agreement for students in grades 6 to 12 in preparation for the expiration of the current tuition agreement with MSAD 61. And we talked earlier at a workshop about that being a goal for you folks as well. And then supplemental focus, school committee policy. As always, I'd like to bring revisions to existing policy or new policy as a result of changes to Maine law on an ongoing basis between October 25th and June 2026 for school committee approval. And then the last one under goal would be by November 2025, the superintendent will bring forth a policy for school committee approval to clear up the misconception that the Sebago School Department offers full school choice. So those are my goals. I don't know if you have any feedback for me.
I like that the goals that we came up with tonight, mirror 3 of your goals.
Yeah.
So it's.
Good.
Keeps
And I
everything
looked at John's
consistent.
goals, we're pretty well integrated, so I like that, so. All right, so that's my goals, and then I have, for the next item, a personnel announcement. I'm announcing that we've hired a Sebago resident, Ashley White, as an Ed Tech 3. She has 2 students at SES, and she has experience with children. And John, do you wanna detail the process that you went through? You had an interview team, and it
Yeah.
was a unanimous choice of the interview team. I'll let you take that.
Yep, so we posted it on the board because that's the only place where people see stuff like that. And it sat for a good 2 months, the position. And then I had a community member, mother, call me and asked me what the process was, and actually went on Serving Schools and sent me your application, resume and everything. So we put a committee together, both case managers, because this is a special ed tech, both special ed case managers, the grade level teacher that this person would work with, one of the grade level teachers that they'd work with, and then Del Peavy and I. We came up with about 15 questions, we invited her in,
Of course, first we reviewed all her paperwork, signed our letters of confidentiality, and interviewed her. And then at the very end, she interviews us. You know, it's time for her to ask questions of us. She was very interested, and we were very excited about her background. She has a lot of background with working with students with special needs, so that was a plus. She's BHP certified, so that was a plus.
What's WHAT, what's BHP?
A behavior, it's basically a
Behavioral
Health
health
professional.
health
professional.
professional, yeah.
Thank you, I didn't, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, and so she's qualified there. We thought it was a perfect fit, and she will start, hopefully if you approve her tonight, she'll start Monday.
Actually, they don't have to prove, I've already hired.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Because
Yeah,
teachers are the ones I
Yeah,
recommend.
so she'll start Monday. She's very excited to start. Dell and I are talking tomorrow about her onboarding, what she's gonna need. But I think she'll be a great part of the school community and staff. And part of her wanting to work here is because she saw how the staff work with kids, and she kinda is vibing on the vibe of the school, so she was very excited to work here.
Oh, nice.
I had a chance to interview her as well. I like to meet folks before they come in, and she, I thought was outstanding. And I ask this one question all the time: tell me a memorable experience you've had with a child. And she knocked it out of the park. I really liked that answer. And I had a few questions I asked her, and John was present as well. And yeah, she's a great hire. I think
Yeah.
she's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. All right, and then, the last item I have is, I know I shared with you in an email, just as informational email, our salad bar, there was an article in the Portland Press Herald that, and I wanted the public to know, that the Portsmouth Press Herald did a story on our salad bar, which I partake every day that I'm here. And it's really good salad, and it was, we got the salad bar because of a nationwide initiative. And Morgan Dariot was interviewed about it, and she credits the salad bar to the Chef Ann Foundation. So it was a nice little article that appeared in the Portland Press Herald, and I just wanted to commend Morgan, and also Tia Banks, who works in the kitchen. They're just wonderful. Kids love them. They're just like moms away from home, you know. And last week they celebrated Food Around the World Week. We have one staff member who's in Africa. Whereabouts in Africa?
So Amy is in
Oh,
the
gosh, it's
east, I think she's in, God,
I can't remember off the top.
the east side of, she's on just a great journey.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe.
yeah, working with the communities and helping the
And
communities.
so she talked about food from Zimbabwe, and it was great. And they had flags of different countries up in the calf. And I just can't say enough about our lunch program. They're really great people, and they deserve a better kitchen, believe me. They really do. So I just wanted to share with the public. I know you knew about it, but I wanted the public to know that we got some great recognition for our food service department. So kudos to those two folks.
So did we ever get rid of the old salad bar? I mean, we could have a museum in the new.
John would know that. I don't know.
We did get rid of it, and to be
That
honest
thing
with you,
was beautiful.
she found another community that wanted it, and
Oh,
they came
that's
and
good.
picked it up.
Yeah, it's very vintage.
Yes, it is vintage. It's not as red as it was day one.
I was gonna say, it's kind of an orange.
Yeah.
So that's the end of my report, and we can move on.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
All right, John.
Okay, you want me to come up and sit beside you?
Sure.
Yes,
Come on up, John.
please, join us.
I think Wendy started that.
I'm sure she did.
When we used to have them in the cafeteria, it was much easier.
Hmm.
So I've broken today's report: building, curriculum, current and future events, and calendar.
Oh,
So,
no.
Here we go.
so building. I met with Michael Courier from Peaks Timber Works about the outdoor classroom. Great guy, very smart. It was interesting. He's from Bath, and no, he's from Brunswick. Went to school there and was in their vocational program, and he just wasn't a student that was like. He said he wasn't going to college,
he had to do something with his hands, and the vocational program got him to where he is today. He's got a, if you know anything about Peak Timber Works, they're a very good company. They build beautiful structures around Sebago Lakes. They're from Naples. Anyways, he came in and kind of laid out what needs to happen. And so I'm going to get him, the hardscape, and Shelley Willie's son to look at the site at the same time, talk about, it's gonna be minimal excavating, but just to flatten it out, so that he can come and put the structure in on cement pads, and then build the platform around it. His quote for his timber works is all set up and done is $9,600. We have $19,000 for the outdoor classroom, so I need to make sure that the rest is within that $10,000. So I'll update you more when I know. The goal is to get it set up and done during April break. He says his part, he definitely knows, a couple days he can have it up and done. And so it's really for the hardscaper to do their work as
Well,
well.
it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, we've had some experience with Cameron. He's really awesome.
With him?
Shelley's son.
Oh, yeah. So between the three of them, we should be able to get it done. We are gonna have to do we're gonna have to check the ground for electrical, but beyond that, we should be good. We're also, I'm looking at, in my mind, for potential flooring for next year in the building, figure out how that's budgeted. And that would really be for office spaces and special ed, case manager classroom, and Dell's office. If that was done, that would be all the flooring in the building, except for the cafeteria. Would have been done in the past 3 years, so that's a plus. Also, and I mentioned this last year, as we started getting tables for the classroom and updating classrooms with desks and tables for kids, is to start maybe 1 or 2 classes at a time, getting new chairs. These are chairs, if you see them, the feet are all rusty at the bottom, and and the ones we order for pre-K, I talked to Hannah, and she said they're very comfortable for kids, the way and they weren't very expensive. And so I'm gonna look into the prices of that. And then I did need the school committee's approval on equipment to recycle. And let me kind of just go through this letter. I got an email from Matt. We have 22 phone extensions from the old VoIP system that are just sitting in the closet. We have 1 smart projector and smart board that was replaced. And what I did is we pulled the old 20-year-old smart board and projector out, and I put 55-inch screens in each classroom. And the screens now you can mirror without Apple TV, which is really nice. So we replaced that. We have 75 old MacBook Airs. The newest is from 2017. We have 1 old laser printer that was on Shelley's desk, and 20 iPads that were replaced this summer through our MLTI program. He's got a vendor that will just pick them up and take them away. And that would be my recommendation, because, we could try to sell them, but they're old, and people are gonna put more money into updating them than it'd be worth even getting. But this company, if you're willing to let them do it, is willing to, a lot of companies wanna charge you to take stuff away, but they're willing to just take them, pack them, and take them away.
Yeah, I don't have any objections. 2017, if you think about a MacBook, you can't even operate any software on that, so.
And that smart board is over 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's old.
Yeah.
And we don't have space to.
We don't. If
We're not using.
If we got rid of that stuff, that IT closet where the old server is, would be clean.
Right,
That'd be great.
you need
And
that.
it would be nice
Yeah.
not to have to climb over things to reset the server.
Yeah, the lifespan of those, you're not gonna get anything for those.
So-
And Matt
So
can
All right, so,
re-image all the computers and be done.
You get a motion.
so we have a motion.
Okay, perfect.
Do we have a second? Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
I was just trying to present the information, but thank you.
There you go.
No, it's all good.
You're all set.
All right. Now, curriculum instruction, so this is kind of a curriculum update. So we had this year we had the literacy grant funding, which we talked about, which provided training for teachers using the AIMS platform, science and reading platform. That's done, that's been paid, the teachers been paid, they got the CEUs for that. But this year, last year we piloted a reading program. K-2 wasn't on board with it. It just didn't seem to meet their needs. It was a lot to pack into the period of time that they had for instruction. 3 through 5 did, they were like, we are ready to do it. You know, that's being a reader by collaborative classroom. We already that year implemented being a writer by collaborative classroom. And when I got here, one of the first things I put a survey up to staff to say, you know, where do we need to start with instruction? And writing was the number one, and then aligning our curriculum, aligning our instructional practices was the second one. We've been working on that for the past 3 years. This year, K-2 is piloting into reading and CKLA, which is core knowledge language arts. So they're piloting 2 programs. Chrissy Bennett's piloting CKLA, and Miranda and Jenna piloting into reading. So we have a visit, all 3 teachers plus the literacy coach interventionists, myself are going to Turner Primary on November 3rd. And we're gonna spend the day there and watch it in action to see how it works, talk to teachers about, you know, making sure they can fit that, you know, that 10 pounds into a 5-pound sack, making sure everything is working well, and are the kids learning? And from what I'm seeing already in the classroom, kids are excited in 1 and 2. And Chrissy Bennett's told me that she's seen a lot of growth in her first grades this year, so that was great. And then on November 17th, I'm not going, but the 3 teachers and the coach are going to Sanford Elementary to see CKLA in action. So, and the reason for this is we're piloting the programs, we wanna see the programs in action, we wanna talk to staff about how it's working for them, because giving staff curriculum support material that they don't feel comfortable using, it's not gonna be implemented properly. So I think we're leaning one way, but we'll see after the 2 visits. So exciting for them. The assistant superintendent out in Turner has been great, and she's the one that really did the whole implementation of into reading in Turner, and so we're gonna have some good conversations with her. And then once the we're also looking at both a math and literacy screener. We're looking at the DOE policy with literacy screeners, and we really need one that also screens for dyslexia. So we're looking for a good literacy screener, and these screeners are really so that teachers can know who needs to go into Title I reading intervention or math intervention. We don't have a math screener at all, so we're really looking to find a screener for math and literacy. And then the other piece, once the K-2 teachers decide on the new literacy program, we're gonna be looking for a new benchmark assessment that aligns with the programming that they get and aligns with collaborative classroom being a reader, so that we're not doing 2 different things. We're not looking at, we're not assessing kids and then teaching them in a different way. So we're looking for something that aligns. So that's the work we're doing regarding curriculum and instruction. And then the last piece is Amanda McGinnis's, we use SIPS as our intervention tool. She's right now in a SIPS course for teachers. Once that course is over, she's gonna take the SIPS instructor course so that she can teach all our special ed teachers and ed techs how to use the SIPS program. So, a lot of work being done in curriculum. And that's beyond just our MTSS work that we're doing, that we started this year. Current and future events, the 4th grade went to the Sebago Historical Society in the town hall, was invited by Wendy Newcomb, and I don't know who else invited her. Was it Wendy?
Spice sponsored.
Yes, it was
yeah.
Spice sponsored, but the communication was between Wendy and Belle to get them there.
Yeah.
From what I gathered, they had a great time on the field trip.
I was the docent at
Yeah.
the museum.
Oh, yes, you really does. Yes, Lou told me that.
They had a great time because I set up objects.
Yep.
And they had to guess what those objects did,
Mm.
what they were used for, and I had 2 mystery objects, which I now know. I'm gonna have to let the 4th graders know what the mystery objects
Yeah.
were used for.
And what a great group of kids that
Yeah.
4th grade is.
Oh, yeah, they had a great time. We split them into 2 groups, and, you know, I took a group out to the back room. Cheryl Brown, she's the president of the
Mhm.
Historical Society, did the group in the main room, and then we switched.
Yeah.
worked out great.
And that would be nice if we can, if
The
we can.
toilet was the most interesting part of the entire thing. Well, we have an odd toilet over there.
Yeah.
There's no water. So it works kind of like a diaper genie, same sort of idea. So, the kids love that.
Right.
Well, I think if we send fourth grade each year, our kids will go through and learn a little bit about Sebago and about history, so.
They do quite a bit, actually,
Mhm.
which I was impressed that they
Once,
did
once
quite
they
a bit.
hit third grade, that's where we start teaching a lot, some history and some science.
Mm.
And we did get our mystery science kits for 3 through 5, so they're starting to do, some experiments in the class.
Mhm.
They started this week, and the kids were pretty stoked, fourth grade started that, it was pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also, we had Apple Crunch Day. We went up to Douglas Hill Farm. The Lucy family was very generous. Provided all the apples. Kids had a blast. They really had a blast, and we all bit into it was funny, Morgan, didn't want herself in the picture, and Dell took the picture, and you see Morgan's part of her face in her hand,
Yeah.
the edge of the picture. But we had a great time. Kids loved, and he did a nice presentation about what it's like to run an orchard, what are the things we need to do, what do we do when apple season's over. So it was a great time. One thing I didn't put in here, we also did walking school bus, school-wide, and we had a photographer come in and took some great pictures. It was, fun was had by all on that one. Someone in a family brought a dog down there, and Sally did not like that dog being around, because it was a little aggressive. Fall Fest was great. We had the fire truck and rescue, we had Cumberland County Sheriff, we had, I call them Northwoods Law, but it was the Maine game wardens were there. And then we had a farm. We had baby goats, we had sheep, we had chickens, and I roped Ted into doing Ted's Trail Adventures. And so Ted had kids out on the trail. And then, of course, we had pumpkin art, and then Spice came in and did an activity, so it was a great day. Kids were loving it, so that was nice. Another big Spice kudo, this was, from what people are telling me, one of the best plays they've ever seen.
Hmm.
And it was Leonardo, a wonderful show about a terrible monster. And even some of our kids that struggle being in environments like that, because it was so engaging and it was multimedia, they were just locked on for the whole time. Yeah, and you did hear that we had a visitor on the bus. We had to evacuate a bus to get the visitor out, so that was interesting. And then,
It wasn't dangerous, it was just.
It wasn't
It's
dangerous.
another student who got on the wrong bus.
Right.
yeah, and he didn't wanna get off our bus,
Yeah.
and so we
Yeah.
had to figure that one out.
Wanted to come to Sebago for the
He
day.
wanted to come to Sebago, and the teachers at his school did not want him going.
Yeah.
So, and then coming up, we have the Scholastics Book Fair, November 3rd. Starts November 3rd through the 7th, and Parent-Teacher Conference, Tuesday and Wednesday night. And the e-wallet is online, you can sign up today. We also have the Parent-Teacher Conferences, the 4th and 5th. And then Veterans Day falls on Tuesday this year. So we'll be coming to school Monday, off of Veterans Day, which they asked me, the Lions Club asked me to speak at the Veterans Day thing, and so I'm gonna come up with something. I'll reflect on my 20-year career and how it's impacted my life, maybe. Then we have the planetarium on the 18th. That's all set to go. Kids love that planetarium. And then the winter concert, I've gotta get a hold of Cameron, it's gonna be at the Town Hall December 16th. That way we can fit everybody from the community in there, we don't have to worry about grandparents and cousins and all that coming. And I've been working with Wendy Lee, she's gonna put on a great show, we're gonna decorate the hall a little bit and invite families up there, starting at 5:30.
It's on the 16th.
Yeah, the 16th, yeah.
That's the
Initially,
same
she
night
said-
we're meeting here.
Initially, she said the 15th, but because Crooked Rivers is on the 15th.
We can
So-
change that meeting if you want.
Well, it's like,
Well,
it's a daytime
we'd have to meet-
event, though.
Oh.
What time of day
No,
are
you
you?
Five-
said
no, it's 5:30 at
5:30,
night.
So it's
Oh,
not
so
going
it's
to be
at
a
night?
daytime thing.
So, we could nix our workshop
You
for
could.
December and just have a meeting at 7, and then
I would.
you guys
Yeah.
could make it, but other than that, we're,
Nix the workshop, I think you'll like the concert better than the workshop.
And the
like-
reason we
mean-
put it at 5:30 is so everybody could be there, it doesn't disrupt the school day.
Right,
And we're not trying to jam 400 people into 205 capacity cafeteria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, we try to align our calendar with Lake Region. They changed things a little bit this year. And when we've looked at our calendar at the beginning of the year, we realized that we have staff and students here all of December 23rd. And so we'd like to accommodate staff and families and get off at noon that day for Christmas and Christmas Eve, if that's okay with the school committee. That way families that are trying to go somewhere
On the
and staff that are,
23rd.
yeah, the 23rd is scheduled for a full day, and,
yeah, a lot of parents pull kids anyway.
yeah, your attendance is lower on that day anyway.
yeah, and the reason is they change their days, but they don't have a January workshop, and we have where staff and families can go the day before April break, that Friday, as their comp day for parent-teacher conference, so
Right.
it just kinda screwed up.
And this will not this will not align it, but at least they could get out at
Mhm.
noon
Yeah.
Right,
for
Yep.
sure.
And then, yeah, I talked to staff, we're really gonna look at the calendar next year, we're thinking about moving workshops around a little bit to make the schedule a lot easier to work.
I think we're gonna need a motion to change the
So-
calendar.
Yep,
Yeah,
Yep. I'm throwing out, sorry to
Yeah,
throw out.
calendar, so that's December 23rd, wow,
what day of the week is it?
that's a
Tuesday.
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 Why is school happening on the 23rd of December anyway?
You know, it's just, it does.
This is the way it falls,
Yeah.
The way it fell,
Mhm.
okay.
School
Yeah.
vacation starts that day, so.
right.
I think schools across the state seem to be a little like all over the place with that
Yeah, I
week
agree
because
with
it's
you.
a weird Wednesday, Christmas.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to get out at noon, is that what it was?
Yep.
On the 23rd,
On the 23rd,
so moved.
okay.
Second.
Oh, yeah, second,
Second.
okay, any further discussion?
And did you have any?
Nope.
No?
Okay. All in favor? There you go.
All right,
And
sorry
get
it
a
took so
notice-
long,
Get a
thank you.
notice out to parents on that.
Yep, yep, I will do that.
All right.
And John, thanks for hosting Trunk or Treat, everyone had fun with that.
Oh,
Oh, God, it was packed.
It
It
looked
was packed.
amazing.
I was like, where did all, and real quick to the committee, I was like, there's all these people with kids I don't know. And I wanna take a survey, are you from Sebago, then give them a registration form for school. You need to sign up.
That's the homeschool contingency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, thank you, John.
Yep.
We have no discussion items for this particular meeting. Action items.
I'll introduce, you have two policies for adoption tonight. One is policy JKAA, it's the use of physical restraint and seclusion, which you approved for first reading at the last meeting, and the second one is the companion policy, procedures on physical restraint seclusion, file, it's code JKAAR, and this was changed to reflect changes in state law.
So we're looking for a motion to approve a second read,
Yeah, to adopt,
to adopt.
those aforementioned policies, so moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Yeah, that one passed.
Do you want me to introduce the next one, Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
Okay, so, here's a policy, there's two policies for first reading tonight. One is the travel expense, policy DLC. And essentially, as I said during the workshop earlier, you had this policy in place. It was, taken out of your policy, manual and put into, our employee handbook. However, based on information I received from the DOE, they asked for a travel expense policy, and we didn't have one, so I'm recommending that you re-adopt this and also keep the information that you have in the personnel manual in it. And there's been some changes to prices. Breakfast reimbursement will go from 8 to 15, because these rates haven't been changed in a number of years. Lunch would go from 12 to 20, that's including the tip as well, and then dinner from 30 to 35. That's the only changes to the policy.
Okay. So I'm looking for a motion to adopt those two policies. Wait, that was only the travel expense?
That was the travel, right.
Okay. So
I've got one
to-
more after that.
To adopt the travel expense
Yeah.
policy.
well, not adopt, approve it for first read.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
I
First read.
motion to approve policy for first read.
Okay,
Seconded.
thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? It passes.
Okay, and thank you. And the next policy I have is, it's called Temperature Standards for Schools, Policy EBBD. The state, the state legislature passed a law that took effect September 24th, 2025, that reads as follows: temperatures shall be kept at a level that provides a comfortable environment for employees and students. We're talking about school building temperatures. The main DOE recommends that school boards take sufficient time to adopt thoughtful, responsive temperature policies that reflects the unique needs of their local communities. So there's this new law that says we have to have a policy on temperature. And essentially, our comfort zone, they're recommending a comfort zone of 68 to 82 degrees. I've talked to John, we've never had a problem with the minimum of 68 to 82 degrees, even in the summertime when it tends to get hot. We have
Yeah.
kids that come here and they're in AC, they're in rooms that are cool.
The heat pumps work well.
Yep, and in the policy, it talks about things you can do if, the temperature exceed, and I'm recommending 3 degrees, so if it drops to 65 degrees, there's things you can do, which we do already. And if the temperature gets to 85 from 82, a 3 degree difference, there's things that we can do, to make it comfortable for kids. This is a required policy by law, we already do it, but we have to have a policy, so I'm recommending that you approve policy EBBD for first read, temperature standards for schools.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So move to approve policy EBBD as a first reading.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right. That's a vote. Okay. Information items for future agendas.
I think you covered the outdoor education.
Yeah, we kind of have.
Do you want that, to keep that on, or do you?
Well, I may have some more updates,
Okay.
so we might as well keep it on. And
Okay.
if I can update you every time we're together, that
That's
is
awesome.
good stuff.
That's fine.
Okay,
All right.
and our next meeting, which isn't listed on here,
No, it should be.
will be,
Oh, it shouldn't put it on, okay.
November 18th. It looks like you have operations scheduled at 5. We have workshop at 6 and our
Correct.
regular meeting at 7.
Correct.
Okay. All right, and then just a reminder that in December, we just changed, we had operations and a workshop schedule and outdoor classroom, I didn't know why that was on there, but
Yeah.
anyway, so I deleted everything but our regular 7 o'clock meeting so that the parents can go to the concert at 5:30.
Okay,
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
sounds fair.
all right.
And once I get that completely locked on with the town, we'll put it out to families when it is.
That's great.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?